Hello, beautiful beings. I'm Yasmin Hanna, and I want to share so much about this myth of being a woman over 35. I've been looking at videos on YouTube, and it is tragic what's out there. It's so tragic. Doctors talking about a woman's hormones just like skyrocketing down. That's it. It's the end of her fertility. Listening to women say, honey, you gotta just settle for what you have. If you get the man that you're not really into, settle for him. I've seen things that have said, yeah, just men sharing about don't ever date a woman over 35 because she's too, she knows, you can't really, she's rigid, she's bitter, she's depressed, she's her hormones. And I just want to shed a light on the complete myth of all of that and how many women I know that are over 35 that are thriving, that are having even kids at 38, 40, that are enjoying themselves, feeling more delicious, more embodied, more voluptuous, more clear, more sure of herself, more knowing where she stands in the world. And this whole thing of being bitter and lonely and life's over, it's tragic to hear that. Sadly, I also hear that from my own family, which is like, what have you done with your life? Now it's all over and you can't have a man because he'll want a baby and you're not. And I'm like, oh, there's so much more to me than that. And even if that's true, that it's done, how can I respond to my choices in a responsible way and bring about something very beautiful, very true, very alive and real? How can I mother things? How can I nourish things? How can I support things in my life to keep growing without it necessarily having to be the stereotypical way of how it needs to be? So I'm just sharing a message for all of you over 35 that are in this place of, yeah, I missed something, I didn't take action. Your life, the way it's been, has a medicine, has a power, has a story that's uniquely yours, that I am sure has something to bring to the world because it's your unique experience. It's a matter of how you creatively go about that now. And to nourish things in a way, become a woman, like own your woman. It's the most amazing time to be a woman. I'm finding that how I felt in my 20s to how I feel now, and now I feel like, I feel more like a woman. I actually feel my body looks more beautiful. I'm having a bit of hard time dealing with some coming graying hairs, to be honest, and a few more finer lines on my face that at times I'm like, oh, I need to, make sure I'm taking my supplements, keep taking in fresh air, doing my practices so that I don't start to accelerate in a process of aging that doesn't feel like a reflection of how I feel myself to be inside. But even if, like, who cares, there's sometimes I just look at myself and I see the changes and I'm like, I see the beauty in that. And, I find the hardest thing for me has been being in relationships where I can sense that the attractions go to much younger women. And for me, it's important to not build bitterness or resentment towards my sisters, because I was in that space too where I was the younger woman and I was relating to older men and seeing the resentment of other older women. So I was in that boat, and I learned back then already how that must have been feeling. And now, 10 years later, I'm being more on the other side, and I know that I still have a long way to go with that, but starting to feel that the most important thing is I stay in love with my own woman, with my own femininity, with my own self-worth and self-love, so that I can actually bring my love forward to my younger sisters and be a loving support to them, as opposed to bitter, jealous older women. And I feel that is where, for me, one of the challenges lies for getting older, and you will all have your own. But other than that, it's enjoying the amazing gift of becoming wiser, becoming stronger, having like a more no bullshit policy, knowing boundaries, feeling more confident, feeling more like matured in the skill and in the craft. And if you're still developing your skill and craft, great. I've met, like really met women who started working on their skill and craft in their mid-60s and are thriving. You know, an artist that had never painted before, but in her 60s started painting and now runs galleries. And, you know, just her dream came true after years of not doing what she loved. So there's so much time. There's so much abundance of time. There's so much to enjoy. It's a matter of how you feel inside, and anything outside, especially all this negative stuff that I'm hearing from doctors. You know, fertility is a state of inner creativity. It's got nothing to do with whether you can make babies or not. And if you've missed the mark and you cannot have a baby and it's your heart's longing, then shed those tears, feel the grief, and it's time then to, from that grief, to find what are you mothering in this world, because you were here for a reason, and the God Goddess brought you here for a reason, and to trust that if it wasn't to have a child, and that's what it is, it's something else, and that it will come to you more beautiful than you could have even imagined by giving it a chance. So you are fertile, whether regardless of the state of your ovaries or womb, you're fertile, you're creative, and there's always an opportunity to keep creating, self-creating again and again and again. Become the own artist of your life. And I can't wait to see you thriving and shining and rising, sister, in all your beauty until you age, till the day you die. And then we still create on and on through this cosmic reality of no time space. It's a wonderful, miraculous, wondrous world we live in. And we are creators, so may we keep creating. With all my love, thank you.